Books and One Click Digital present The Love Letters by Beverly Lewis. Narrated by Christina Moore with Rachel Botchin. From Robert Burns. Oh, my love's like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh, my love's like the melody that's sweetly played in tune.
Prologue. June 1966. My world tilted when Dottie Tim passed away last winter. Then it spun off its axis when my parents sent me away from my beau to be with my widowed grandmother for the summer. "My mama needs you with Dottie gone," my mother urged. While I dearly wanted to help my sorrowing grandmother in rural Brownstown, far from my family's home in Mifflinburg, the timing was just awful. Being gone for the summer, I would miss out on my baptismal instruction, and without it, I couldn't marry Nathaniel Zimmerman this November. An entire year would pass before the next wedding season rolled around for my beau and me. Nat wasn't very happy about the arrangement either, yet he tried to soothe my fears and took me for a ride in his black courting carriage before I left. We stopped at Dairy Queen and had ice cream garnished the way Dottie had liked his, with chopped nuts and oodles of whipped cream. I still cherish that memory and Nat's efforts to console me, especially since it was obvious he had his own worries, what with my parents having joined the beachy Amish Mennonites, and Mommy Janice, a black bumper Mennonite. Such a combination, to be sure. I had assured Nat I was old order, skin to bone, despite where my parents or grandmother attended church. Looking mighty relieved, he'd reached for me and kissed my cheek, and then, after more tender words, he took me home. Watching his buggy rumble down the road, I promised myself, if anything, the separation will make our love stronger. So here I sat, a week later, in the grand white gazebo my grandfather built years ago, surrounded by the sounds of tree frogs and crickets. I reread Nat's first letter since I'd come, a newsy account of taking his courting-age sister to singing and of opening several new beehives, as well as cutting the first hay of the season with his father and brothers. Memorizing his sign-off, "With all my love," I dismissed my loneliness to the balmy breeze and contemplated the wall telephone in Mommy's kitchen, dreaming of my beau's voice in my ear. But Nat was much too conservative to ever call me. The phone in his father's barn was used strictly for contacting an occasional paid driver, clear up there northwest of Harrisburg, in what had been called Buggytown, USA, back in the 1800s. In those days, there were 50 carriage and sleigh factories, and my own father could trace his ancestry to one of those original buggy makers. So that's where my parents had put down roots as old order Amish when my mother left Brownstown and the Mennonite church to marry Dot. Then, after attending the more traditional Amish group for many years, they joined the beachy Amish 2 years ago, after getting written permission from our old order bishop. Out of respect, I half-heartedly followed in their footsteps, but only until I could become a member of the church of my childhood, the church where I would eventually marry Nat. The scent of lilacs filled the air, and I spun a loose strand of hair from beneath my formal prayer cap around my slender fingers. In my memory, I could almost hear Dottie's harmonica drifting out over the pasture land in the still of the night. So many visits here through the years. The back door opened, and Mommy, round and graying, stepped out. Her white cotton duster shimmered against the dusk. "You all right, Marlena?" Her frail voice pushed into the stillness. "Just thinking, is all." "Want some company?" I nodded in the fading light. She's lonesome, too. Mommy wandered out to join me in the shelter of the gazebo and sat there, holding my hand, linking our collective grief. We took our time sharing personal memories, slow and sweet. "Remember how Dottie would hoist me onto his big shoulders," I said. And let you wear his holy brown hat, too. No one else was allowed to touch it. I turned to look at her, interested in what she remembered.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.